Hi, welcome to Vicky Makes and Builds. Okay, today I have for you another speed puzzling practice video. This will be the last one I do before the Worlds, which are coming up so quickly. I don't even know how the time has gone so fast, but there we have it. And when I get there, I will be meeting for the first time my fellow puzzle YouTubers and teammates, Donna Louise from For the Love of Puzzles, Juby from Jigsaw Juby, and Jeanette from Jeanette and Her Puzzles. I am so excited to be meeting them all. I can't wait to meet them all. I can't wait to practice some speed puzzling with them. We all arrive on the Monday, so that gives us one full day and a bit to practice puzzling together because we have never puzzled together. The Worlds doesn't officially start until the Wednesday, which is the 20th, and then that runs through till the 24th. Now, I'm sure I've probably told you all of this before, but for those of you who don't know, that is what we are going to be doing, and we're all so excited. However, I'm also more than a little stressed out and really, really nervous too. I've never done so much speed puzzling in my life. Just puzzle after puzzle after puzzle. I feel like they're coming out of my ears. But that aside, I'm going to try and explain to you today what puzzles I've been practicing with and some puzzles that I have actually re-speed run. Ones I've done before that I've done again to see if I can improve on my times in any kind of significant way and see if I've got any better at all. Not sure if I have, but we'll see. But so today, I'll just run through quickly the puzzles that I'm going to be showing you today. So first up, we have a Circle of Colours puzzle. Now this one's called Ocean. I introduced all of these puzzles in previous puzzle haul videos, so you may have seen these before, but I'm actually doing them in this video. So the Circle of Colours, now I kind of bought one of those a while ago on a whim. I bought the Donut Circle of Colours and I did speedrun it. I had really just bought it because I liked the puzzles. I never really thought that they might actually do a round puzzle at the Worlds, but I actually think that there is a good chance that there might be a round puzzle at the Worlds. So I'm kind of glad that I've practiced on at least a couple of them, because if one does come up then I would be completely and totally unprepared. But anyway, this one's called Ocean and this is the first puzzle I'm going to be showing you today. And then after that I've got this one. This one's called Minu's Pond of Daydreams and it's very pink. It's lots and lots of pink, but it's a lovely image and it's kind of fantastical as well, so I really did actually enjoy speedrunning this one, but I'll be showing you this one as well. After that we've got Puffinry, which is a lovely puzzle, really lovely image. It's so cute with all these puffins and all these lovely flowers and the sea and the scenery in the background. Some lovely colours going on in this puzzle, so I'll also be showing you this one today. Then there is this one, Yozakura, which I was nervous about speedrunning, to be honest, because it does look quite difficult, but I went ahead and did it. And I was right, it was really difficult, but we'll get to that. This one I was really pleased with because I actually managed to find this on an impromptu trip around the local charity shops. It's called Land of the Dinosaurs and I managed to pick this one up for only £1.75. So I was so pleased to find this, and again it was another one that was really fun to puzzle. And then lastly, from this pile we have this one, which was actually a puzzle I bought from my previous batch of speed puzzle purchases. I think it's just called Jellyfish, and it's one I just kept putting off because it's another one that I thought looked really hard, but I kind of picked it up because I really liked the image. There's some lovely neon bright colours, but there's also a lot of the same kind of colours going on in this, so could be a tough one. And then the puzzles on this side of me are ones that I have redone. Now I'll start with this one because I've not actually done this one on the channel yet, but on the main channel, but I have done it twice. So this one's called An Evening in Pisa, and I did this one twice kind of in quick succession. So the results on this one, the second time around results on this one may well be largely because of familiarity with the puzzle, but I really just wanted to do it again and see if I could improve my time and get better at this kind of puzzle, which is kind of like a scene, like a scenery style puzzle. So that's the first one of the do-overs that I've got. This is another one that I redid. It's called Lighthouse at Sunset. I actually got this quite a long time ago. It's been a while since I've done this one, and I wanted to redo it again because it was one of the ones I got not too great a time on. I barely qualified with this one with my time, and so I wanted to do it again. It's another kind of scenery type of puzzle, so I really did feel like I needed to try and get a bit more used to doing this kind of image. So, and honestly, it's been a while since I've done it, long enough that I'm not as familiar with the image anymore, so I think that any improvements on this one will be really good. Then I also did the London Postcard again, which is actually the puzzle that I got my fastest time on. And it was the very first speed puzzle I did. And I just wanted to see, to be honest, if I could maybe get below the hour mark with this one. But I shall let you know when I come to it. And then lastly, I redid this puzzle here, the New York Postcard. And actually I just did this one this morning for the second time. Very, very similar to the London Postcard, same kind of series, same kind of artwork. We've obviously got the Statue of Liberty in the middle instead of the Big Ben, but very, very similar to the London Postcard. So I shall go through you my times with that one. Oh, actually, I did another one that's not in this pile. Hang on one second. So this one, I also redid the Floral Reflections puzzle. This is in fact the last one I have in the pile of do-overs, so I'll give you my comparisons of time on that one as well. And just to mention these ones as well, in amongst all of these 500-piece puzzles that I've been doing, I also speedran these three little beauties here. These are Ravensburger moment puzzles, which are really just Ravensburger puzzles that have smaller piece counts. I did this cute little one that's 99 pieces called Llama. Comes in a really cute little cube-shaped box. I did Mixed Tape, which is 200 pieces, which I absolutely loved. This is so fun, by the way. Really, really fun puzzle. And I did this 300-piece puzzle called Flowers in New York as well. And again, a lovely, lovely puzzle. And I will share my times with you on those. Now, I don't have time-lapse footage for maybe, I think, 2 or 3 of these puzzles. Either I thought I'd recorded them but didn't, or some of them only kind of partially recorded because for whatever reason my phone stopped recording or my camera. They can be a little bit temperamental sometimes. Everything else I do have recorded, so I can give you plenty of time-lapse footage on these. But before I do, here is a quick word from today's sponsor. This video is sponsored by Brilliant. When I first heard from Brilliant, I was really happy to have it as a sponsor for my channel because it's all about learning, but in particular because I have a son who's just gone into high school this year. I remember when I was at high school and how the workload ramped up and became harder. I had so many books and notes, and it wasn't always easy to remember some of the concepts, rules and equations. Maths was probably my weakest subject, but I know for a fact that if I had access back then to Brilliant, it would have made my life so much easier and would have helped me learn the exam coursework so much faster. At the risk of making myself sound ancient, computers are so much more prevalent in education today too, and I'm happy to be able to give my son access to an amazing, fun to use and interactive learning experience like Brilliant, especially in subjects like maths, which my son loves, and computer science. Whatever he is working on, at whatever level, is there to be studied on Brilliant. There are so many lessons at all skill levels, and as he grows in knowledge and confidence, Brilliant will have the next lesson ready for him. It also gives you encouragement along the way with messages to keep learning and achievements to build as you learn. I really believe this will help both him and my daughter, who goes to high school next year, in their young academic lives. If you like the sound of this, maybe you have kids the same age as mine, or you're a lover of learning yourself, why not give Brilliant a try? You can try Brilliant for free for 30 days at brilliant.org/Vicky, and in addition, the first 200 people to sign up will receive 20% off Brilliant's annual premium subscription. All you need to do is just click the link in the description below. So now let's see how I get on with all of my speed puzzling. Right, so the first puzzle up is the Circle of Colours Ocean puzzle. Here is the time-lapse footage for this one. So as you saw, I did the Circle of Colours in 1 hour, 25 minutes and 18 seconds, which is actually a very, very similar time, if not almost exactly the same as the Donuts puzzle that I did. I think the thing with these Circle of Colours puzzles is they're like gradients, but they're gradients with pictures in them. So there is a background colour, or there are other little details going on in the pieces, which makes it that little bit more difficult to sort. And I have found with my speed puzzling that sorting tends to work better for me. So most of the time that is my method that I use. I sort the puzzle. So I think I probably could have done it faster, but maybe needed to do slightly more detailed sorting with those ones. It would be a qualifying time, which is great. But actually the Circle of Colours puzzles have been more difficult than I've expected them to be. So that was Ocean. The next puzzle up is this one here, Minu's Pond of Daydreams. Here is how I did on that one. Okay, I'm not entirely certain why I chose the method I did on this one. I think I just wanted to just have a go at something a little different, and I ended up kind of using a bit of a shuffle method, which is the method I normally use when I just puzzle just generally. I shuffled around the box, I pulled out like colours and textures and things, and I put it together as best I could, but I don't think it was the most effective method, admittedly. Okay, Minu's Pond of Daydreams was not my best showing in the speed puzzling side of things. 1 hour, 51 minutes and 5 seconds. Not a qualifying time at all. Took me even longer actually than the Polygon Lion, which was about 1 hour and 45 minutes. So I'm going to say with that one, in fairness to myself, that I wasn't really in a very good place psychologically when I did it. It was later on at night, it was kind of in the evening that I did it, and I have found actually that I get better results when I'm speed puzzling in the morning or in the day. So I was tired, and I wasn't in the best of moods either. I was feeling a bit cranky and things like that. Often when I do these speed runs, I do get interrupted or I have to stop the clock for some reason. I have a busy flat, I've got 2 kids, I've got a cat who's quite demanding, and I just, you know, sometimes just have to stop. And I think I did with that one a couple of times, and I just wasn't really in, my focus wasn't really as on it as I would have liked it to be. So that's my excuse, if you like, for the long time on that one. I would like to redo that one again, see if I can do significantly better on it, maybe even get a qualifying time on it, but whether or not I'll get time to do that remains to be seen, because I've got 1,000,001 other things to do. But yeah, still it was a really enjoyable puzzle. It may well come up in one of the preliminary rounds, I'm not sure. It wasn't that easy an image either. There is a lot of pink in it. It's fairly difficult to sort unless you sorted kind of by texture, because the flowers and the fish are the same shade of pink, so you couldn't just have a big pink pile. It would have been kind of too much. So perhaps maybe a more detailed sort on that one, I'm not sure, would be better, but I would really like to redo that one at some point. Okay, I'm going to move on next to these moment puzzles, because these are the ones I actually did next. I just did the 3 one after the other. Llama, I couldn't find any speed puzzling footage for it, and I'm convinced I did record it, but I guess maybe I didn't, or it's just, I don't know, disappeared somehow. I don't know. I have a picture of it. It was a really, really fun puzzle. I really did love it. I managed to do that one in 12 minutes and 31 seconds, which isn't too bad. I think it was fun to do, and it was interesting just to try a smaller puzzle. I actually got the idea to do these smaller puzzles from Puzzle with Amelia. She's got a YouTube channel, and she gives some hints and tips about how to practice for the Worlds, and this is one of the things she suggests, doing smaller piece count puzzles. So that was Llama. Then I did the mixtape straight after that, so I kind of went up from lowest to highest in the piece counts on this one. Mixtape was just brilliant. It was so, so much fun. It had a lovely gradient running through the background, and all the tapes were different colours. You've obviously got this big tape there going on as sort of at the top of the puzzle. I was thrown a little by these in the sense that I thought they were square images, but they're actually not. If you look at the back of the puzzle, they're actually like a portrait, sort of tall image, but I was just kind of focusing on the front of the box and thinking, why have I got pieces here that don't appear to be on this image? And it's because I wasn't looking at the right image. A lot of it is cut off because it's not a square puzzle. So I think if I'd have known that, I may have got a slightly faster time with this one, but I managed this one in 32 minutes and 43 seconds. And then the 300-piece puzzle was Flowers in New York. This puzzle was actually quite hard. There's a lot of kind of muted colours in this, sort of beiges and dark kind of dusky reds, and I mean the flowers are really pretty. It's a pretty puzzle, but they didn't have the bold striking kind of blocks of colour that the mixed tape did, which I think I get on better with as a general rule, but it was still fun to do, and I managed this puzzle in 43 minutes and 26 seconds. So I did these in under an hour, but then they're smaller puzzles, so that makes sense. Right, next one on my list is Puffinry. Where is Puffinry? There it is. Okay, Puffinry. Now, this is one of the puzzles that I only got partial footage for. I'm not entirely certain what happened there. I thought I'd got the whole thing, but I've maybe got about half of it. So I'll show you what I do have, and then I'll talk to you about it right after. So Puffinry I found was going really, really well. It's an illustration, so it's got some lovely blocks of colour, lots of transition areas where the sky meets like the horizon, the mountains, and then the mountains meet like the water, and then the water meets the beach. So you've got these obvious lines that you can kind of connect together, and it very much came together quite quickly from the top down. It was a highly sortable puzzle which worked for me, and it was only really towards the end when I had the bigger piles of pieces that I slowed down a fair bit, but I really, really enjoyed Puffinry, and I got a better time with it than I had with Minu's Pond of Daydreams, so I was pleased about that, and I managed that one in 1 hour, 15 minutes and 16 seconds. Again, another one I'd probably like to redo, but not sure if I'm going to have the time for that. So that was Puffinry. Now we've got... we've got An Evening in Pisa. So, interesting story behind this one. This one I decided to do as a real-time video for my members only and my Patreon. I wanted to just show kind of what I look like when I'm speed puzzling in real time. And I did film it, but actually there was an unexpected benefit from doing that. When you're watching time-lapse footage of yourself speed puzzling, you don't really get a sense of the kind of habits that you might have gotten into with speed puzzling. So because your hands are moving so fast, it just looks like you're doing the puzzle and it's breezing by and you're doing it really fast. Not so when you are watching yourself do it in real time. Honestly, I was actually getting annoyed with myself. I was editing the video, I was watching it back, and I kept thinking, why do I keep doing that? Why do I keep doing that? I didn't realise I did that so much. and every time I did it, like repeated something, I thought, I was starting to get annoyed. I was like, stop doing that. Of course, I couldn't hear myself. It had already happened. But still, there we are. So this video that I did for this, the real-time puzzle video, is already up on my members only and for my patrons as well. And if you are interested in watching that, you can sign up. I'll leave links in the description below. But just as a wee sort of overview of the things I learned from this puzzle, first of all, I realised that whenever I put a piece in, I would tap it. Like, I don't know if anybody does this when you're just doing a puzzle for fun, right? You put a piece in and there's this kind of like miniature sense of triumph that you get, and you put it in and you go, like that. Like, maybe nobody else does that, I don't know, but I do, apparently. And I kept doing it over and over and over again with this puzzle. And I thought, well, that's fine, and that takes maybe a second of time up, but think about if I do that with every single piece, that's 500 seconds. That I'm wasting going like this whenever I put a piece in the puzzle. I was like, for goodness sake, Vic, stop it. And sometimes I did it more than once. Sometimes I would double tap. Sometimes I did it 4 or 5 times. It was ridiculous. Sometimes I just banged the puzzle. Like, I don't know what it is that makes me do that, but I did that over and over and over again. And I thought, that is a time waster. I need to stop doing that. So that was a good thing that I learned from this puzzle. Another thing I learned from this puzzle, from watching myself doing it in, you know, real time, I get this, it's clear that when I start speed puzzling, I get this frantic kind of sense of movement. Like, I feel like I need to be moving all the time, even if the movement is completely unproductive and not really achieving anything. So what I found that I was doing is, I found that I would have the pieces laid out and I'd be able to see them, but I'd just move them around. Just touch them and move them like that. And it achieved absolutely nothing. It wasn't so I could see them better. I mean, obviously, I did move them for better, you know, vision of the pieces. I sometimes would shape sort, which has a function, and so that's fine. But the amount of times I could see myself just going and just kind of pointlessly moving the pieces around, and I thought, why am I doing that? And again, I think it's just this sense of, I've got to go fast, so therefore I need to be moving all the time. And I just think, well, no, actually, it's probably much better if you just calm and you just look and you don't waste time moving them around. So that was the second thing I learned from this puzzle. And the third thing I learned was that I really need to kind of cultivate the habit of looking for longer at the pieces that are in front of me. So for example, in this one, say I had a pile of pieces that made up the car. Or in fact, probably a better example is the Tower of Pisa. So the Tower of Pisa is quite a repetitive pattern going down. You've got all these archways and the pieces look very similar. And what I found that I was doing was I was spreading the pieces out and I was just got to try putting them in, just got to try putting them in, just got to try putting them in. And it was, again, it was counterproductive because 9 times out of 10, it wasn't the right piece. And if I'd have just taken a few more seconds to look at the detail on the pieces, I could have saved myself a lot of time looking, picking up the right piece and putting it in, and maybe not getting it always the first time, but certainly getting it in faster than I was doing it the other way. So I really do need to kind of cultivate a much more calm approach to it instead of just frantic, got to keep moving all the time, because I really did find that that slowed me down. It slowed me down so much. And on this puzzle in particular, there are some quite obvious piles you can sort into. You've got the tower, you've got the moon, you've got this car here, you've got all this kind of floor area and the pavement down here. But then there's also a lot of kind of busy areas where there's just a lot going on in the same piece. And they're a bit more miscellaneous, and I think with pieces like that, or piles of pieces like that, it's much better if I can look at the pieces and just not feel the need to move them around, not feel the need to just frantically try and keep banging them in together in the wrong place, and, you know, save myself a lot more time doing it that way. So really this one was kind of a turnaround puzzle for me. I sort of had quite a big epiphany really with this one. I didn't get a qualifying time on this one. It was only by a minute or so. I managed this one in 1 hour, 30 minutes and 55 seconds. So I would not have qualified with that time. I was quite disappointed with that, but I was happy that I'd learned so much from doing it. And this is a puzzle that I redid, so I'll go over that shortly. The next puzzle on my list is Yozakura. You probably guessed from my reaction that this didn't go the best. This one I was more hopeful for, having learned a few things from the Pisa puzzle. And actually, the lady came together quite quickly. There's a lot of different colours going on here. There's similar colours in different parts of the kimono that she's wearing. But I actually managed to get her together fairly quickly, I thought. Then it came to all this dark sky and cherry blossom, and I just ground to a screeching halt. Now, again, in my defence, I had a similar scenario with Minu's Pond of Daydreams here, because I wasn't necessarily in a bad mood or anything like that, but it was one I did late on, and it was one where I actually had to stop the timer. So it's a pretty inaccurate time on this one. I forgot as well to take a screenshot of my first kind of bash at it, but I do know it was roughly 1 hour and 28 minutes or something like that, or 1 hour and a half. And then when I finally did finish it off, I speed ran that, and that took me roughly 28 minutes or so. So I was nigh on 2 hours doing this puzzle. It was it was pretty bad, but it was so hard. I found it so hard. I found all this pink and all this darkness around the edge. I found that really, really difficult, and I shape sorted, but even using the shapes, there were it wasn't like I only had a few pieces that I'd shape sorted. I had a whole bunch on this side and a whole bunch on that side, and I was just looking at black and pink pieces, and it was just hard to pick them out. So I did find that really difficult. Anyway, that was Yozakura. Again, a beautiful puzzle, and I will, I think, do this one again, because I think this would be thoroughly enjoyable, not being speedrun and not having that kind of pressure and stress, but just to enjoy. I really, really did like it. But I think also the big gap I had between the sessions doing it, I think that I kind of lost momentum, really. So yeah, that was a bit of a dud, but a really gorgeous puzzle all the same. Okay, so my next puzzle, I loved this puzzle. This was my very lucky charity shop find for £1.75. I feel so chuffed that I found this. Anyway, this is Land of the Dinosaurs, and I speed ran this, and I had all these things in my mind that I'd learned from doing the Pisa puzzle. I wasn't tapping the pieces in anymore. I was trying to take my time. I was trying to use both hands more. I was trying to, at this point, get faster at my sorting. So a couple of times I actually paused the timer when I'd finished sorting the puzzle to see how long it had taken me. And I think for this one I was about 8 or 10 minutes sorting it, which was a lot better, because normally when I glance at the clock after I've sorted prior puzzles to this, it normally takes me around 15 minutes. So I was feeling good about just the general speed with which I was able to do it. It felt like this one went together much more smoothly, even though it's kind of a scene which, you know, I've not proven myself to be amazing at so far. So I was pleased with this puzzle, and with the time I managed this one in 1 hour and 15 minutes and 40 seconds. Next one. Jellyfish. Okay, again, hard puzzle. I found this difficult, but I really enjoyed this one, and I didn't feel like I got stressed with this one. And I used a full flip method with this because I didn't feel like this was overly sortable. There are some large areas like this shrimp in the middle and this kind of yellowy jellyfish here and this one here, but there's so much kind of glowing blue, kind of neon blue going on, that I just felt like sorting wouldn't have worked quite so well. So I did the full flip and I was putting it together fine. It kind of came together in quite a bitty haphazard way, but I guess that's just how it goes with the full flip. So yeah, another non-qualifying time on this one. It was 1 hour and 55 minutes and 47. So this one, Yozakura, Minu's Pond of Daydreams, all nearing the 2-hour mark. And yeah, you know, I think they're all difficult images, but the Yozakura and Minu I got quite stressed with. This one I didn't. This one I just enjoyed. And yeah, it just took a long time. It just took me a long time. But I felt like I wasn't doing any of those bad habit things. I think if I had been doing those, then it would have been a lot longer, probably more than 2 hours doing this puzzle. But yeah, again, fun puzzle, but really, really hard to speedrun. I really hope this doesn't come up at the Worlds. We'll see. Anyway, that was Jellyfish. Okay, so now we're at the point where I'm going to go through the repeat speedruns that I have done. And some of them I'm really pleased with, and I think there's been definite improvement in my actual speed puzzling. Others I'm not so sure if the improvement really is significant enough to say, yeah, I'm better at it, or if it's really just because I've done them before. I didn't have to faff around with taking the cellophane off and opening the bag and all that kind of stuff. So I'll do Pisa first. I'll do Pisa first. This one is one of the ones I'm happy with, that I felt like I improved a lot. Now, granted, I did this one twice in quite rapid succession, so I did have familiarity with this puzzle, but I still ran across the same things that slowed me down. The miscellaneous nature of some of the pieces, the ones that were super detailed that I just couldn't find very quickly. The trees at the end slowed me down again. But I speedran it again and I managed it a second time around in 1 hour, 17 minutes and 44 seconds. So that is a qualifying time for this puzzle. And it's about a 13 and a bit minute improvement on this puzzle. I think that's fairly significant. I think that just taking away some of my bad habits and things like that I'd sort of spotted the first time around, I think that really did help. So I'm going to take that one as a win, put that one to the side. Now, Floral Reflections. This was one of my better speedruns historically. I did this in 1 hour and 9 minutes and 27 seconds the first time around. And actually in my last speed puzzle practice video, I didn't have time-lapse footage to show you of this, but I do now. So here is this puzzle coming together in time-lapse. As you saw, I did it faster by around 4 minutes, just under 4 minutes. I did it in 1 hour and 5 minutes and 35 seconds. So glad about that, but I don't know if it's a significant enough improvement really. It's one that I have done before. I haven't done it in a while, but then at the same time I did the same approach. I sorted. I would do that with this puzzle because it's this obvious kind of gradient colour block thing that's going on. So I went through it. Red, orange, yellow, green and so forth. I did it the same way and I was a little bit faster. So I'm glad of the improvement, but I'm not entirely certain how significant that is. Right, then we have the Lighthouse at Sunset, which is on the bottom here. So the Lighthouse at Sunset is probably the one I'm most pleased with improvement-wise. I have not done this one in quite a long time. In fact, I speedran this in preparation for the first battle of the YouTube puzzlers, which was before I even knew that I was going to the World. So I wasn't really doing a lot of speed puzzle practice for that. I was just doing it for fun, you know, to get a bit of practice in for the battle of the YouTube puzzlers. So yeah, I kind of feel like, even though, you know, I didn't have to take the cellophane off or open the bag or anything like that, you know, I've obviously saved a few seconds there, but I didn't feel like I remembered it enough to really take that as the whole reason for my improved time. Last time I did it in an hour, 27 minutes and 9 seconds. This time I did it in an hour, 13 minutes and 44 seconds. So that is brilliant. That's about a 14-minute improvement. I'm so happy with that. I do feel like I'm getting better with these scenic kind of puzzles. I hope, you know, if one of those comes up, I can kind of put in a good showing with those. I don't know, they just don't seem to suit me quite as much from a speed puzzling perspective. I love the images, but I don't seem to speed run them quite as well. I sorted this one completely this time. The time I did it last time, I used a bit of a haphazard method where I kind of just... It sort of started as a build as I sort, but then I just stopped sorting, so then it all just became a bit messy. So it was good that I kind of did a proper method that I saw through for the entire thing, and I was really pleased with that. Okay, next one I did the London Postcard. This one I was really hoping to do in under an hour, because this was my very first speed puzzle that I did, and it was my fastest as well. The last time I did this was an hour and 3 minutes and 26 seconds. So I thought, well, if I can shave 3 or 4 minutes off, that'd be brilliant. I was close. So I managed it this time in an hour and 52 seconds. Just a minute off. But again, been a long time since I've done this puzzle. Didn't feel overly familiar with it. However, I didn't use a different method. The only thing I did differently with this puzzle was to not do the edge first. I sorted it again, and obviously I eradicated some of my bad habits, and I did have an improved time, but only by around 3 minutes. So don't really know what to make of that one, but I'll take it. I'll take it. It's close enough. Closest I've got to an hour anyway. The last one I reran, which was just this morning, is the New York Postcard. Now, this is so similar to the London Postcard. It's not exactly the same, but very, very similar. But I thought I would do a different method. It was actually Donna Louise that suggested maybe I do a full flip on it instead. And I thought, well, that makes sense to use a different method and compare methods rather than just keep doing the same one. I don't really know quite how I would expect anything different to happen, really, if I keep using the same method. So I did a full flip on this one. And it didn't feel quite as natural to me, but I did feel as though I had more control over it. And I did get a little bit that frantic way, because I just think when I see all those pieces in front of me, it just looks like a chaotic mess, and that sends my brain into a chaotic mess. I really need to try and kind of think of the method in terms of, you know, it's helping me, and I just need to actually look at the pieces instead of just seeing a big mash of pieces and thinking, oh my lord, how am I going to do this? So I did try to calm that down a bit, but I was a wee bit of a kind of frantic panic in my brain at first, but I did still improve on the time. So last time I did this in an hour and 6 minutes and 32 seconds. This time I managed it in an hour and 1 minute and 33 seconds. So as near as damn it, that is a 5-minute improvement. Again, very uncertain how significant that is, but I did use a completely different method, and I didn't do this one overly recently. I did the London Postcard again recently, but they're not the same image, and I don't feel like when I was doing it I was going off a memory of it. I felt like I was looking for patterns, because there are a lot of patterns going on in these images. You've got lines, you've got dots of different colours, you've got splotches of colour, you've got the buildings, you've got this postage stamp, and you've got this big stamp thing here. And so I was looking for patterns, I was looking for areas of colour and patterns, and I was trying to do it that way. I wasn't thinking, Ah yes, that bit goes over there, I remember that from last time. I actually had to check the box to see whereabouts these sections went in relation to each other. Like, I picked out these dark pink ones first, and I had to look at the box to see where it was so I could try and position it properly. And the same with this big patch of red up here, and this stamp area up here. I knew that the Statue of Liberty was in the middle, but you would know that anyway, just from glancing at the box. So I didn't feel like familiarity really helped me overly with this one, but I'm not sure. 5 minutes seems like quite a small amount of improvement to really say, well, yes, you know, that method is better for me and I'm obviously a better speed puzzler now. So it's quite difficult. Like, it's hard to ascertain whether I'm improving or not. But I do think that all of these practice runs I'm doing them at different times of day, sometimes getting interrupted, sometimes not. Obviously at the Worlds I'm not going to be interrupted, but there'll be plenty of distractions. I've never really done a speed puzzle in public before. I've not kind of tried to do that. So I don't know, I guess there'll be that element of it, but at least I won't have to worry about filming and batteries and being interrupted by someone and having to stop the timer and go off and come back to it and losing momentum. But then again, there's like the added pressure of being at the Worlds. I don't know. Who knows? Who actually knows? I just hope that So I'm not expecting in any way to get high up in the rankings, really. I think I'm a fairly decent-ish speed puzzler. I'm not one of the best by any stretch, and there are some amazing speed puzzlers going to this thing. I really am just going for the fun of it, for the experience, to meet the other girls and to puzzle with them. That's going to be amazing. And to meet so many other people. Some of you watching my video, I'll be meeting you too. I know that a lot of you are going to the Worlds as well. I just can't wait for the experience of it, but I do want to try my best. I do want to try and do the very best I can for the UK, who, you know, is who I'm going to be representing in the solos. And if I'm middle of the board or even near the bottom, it doesn't matter. But it would be nice if I could at least qualify, and we'll see what happens. But really, it is all just about good fun, and I think I really just need to keep that in mind, because I've been getting so stressed out with all the preparations, getting ready to go and everything, and I've been getting really nervous, and I've really felt like I've needed to kind of reignite my excitement about it. So I'm going to go a little easier on the crazy speed puzzle practice now. I've got so many other things I need to do to organise myself, and I don't want to burn myself out. I don't want to do so much speed puzzling that by the time the Worlds rolls around, I can't face another 500-piece Ravensburger puzzle. Like, I don't want to be in that mindset when I get there. I want to be like, yeah, I'm ready for this. I'm ready and raring to go. So I'll go easy a little bit. Might possibly do a couple more reruns. We'll see what happens with that. But I do hope you have enjoyed seeing all of these puzzles that I've been doing. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. Because of all the preparations and stuff and all the organisation I've had to do, I'm back at work now, the kids are back at school. Because of all that, I've had very little time to make videos. I had hoped to get another video on the wildlife puzzle, which, in case you haven't noticed, is here in front of me. About 3/4 finished. I had hoped to get this finished and get a video out on this. It's not going to happen, unfortunately, but it'll be something for you all to look forward to when I get back from Spain. And in the meantime, whilst I'm there in Spain, I hope to put up lots of photographs and things and little bits of videos and reels and things on Instagram. You can check out my Instagram in the description below. I've also got a Facebook page. I might possibly even get round to doing some TikToks or wee reels or whatever. Obviously Donna Louise and Jeanette and Juby will be taking all their own footage. So what I really am aiming to do during this is just collate as much footage as I can, really try and get a good idea of the experience of this whole thing. and show it all to you, share it all with you. And so I will be doing that as much as I can whilst I'm in Spain, and obviously when I come back I'll give you the lowdown on everything that's happened as well. Another exciting thing about the Worlds is that they will be doing commentary in different languages this year. So last year I believe it was only live streamed in Spanish, and this year there are different languages that it's being live streamed in, including English. And actually, exciting thing, they've asked me if I would like to do some of the English commentary, which is brilliant. Now obviously I can't comment for the whole, I can't do any kind of commentary for the whole thing. I'm going to be puzzling myself, so it won't be during times that I'm actually in the competition, but in rounds where I'm maybe not doing a puzzle, or I guess if I don't make it through to the final or anything like that, then I will be doing some of the English commentary for the live streams. I was so excited about that. I was so honoured to get asked, and it's just going to be so much fun. It's going to be so much fun. I can't wait to go and just experience this whole thing. It's going to be it's going to be magic. It's going to be magic. So anyway, I think I've covered everything. I hope I haven't missed anything. If you've got any questions that I haven't answered, please do ask me in the comments. Let me know if you're coming to the Worlds. I know a lot of people have told me that they are. Feel free to come and say hi. It'll be amazing to meet you and just share this love of puzzles that we all have. It's just, oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. It's just brilliant. Brilliant. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there, and I will see you in Spain, I guess. Bye for now.